Hi everyone, welcome to Fine Wine of the Old Vault. Today I'd like to talk to you about the storage and serving your wine. I'd like to go away from the single varietals, so I want to make it a bit more interesting. So I hope you do enjoy the episode, and please do drink responsibly. When I started my journey with the wine, I used to keep all the bottles here in this room, and I would, look at the bottle, I would read the labels, and I just needed to have it close to me. This room is very nice and bright during the summer, but when there are sunny days, the temperature get really high, and I had one of the bottles that I really wanted to save for a special occasion. And when I opened it, I knew, okay, that's the faulty wine. So I was very upset, and that's also a tip for you. If you ever get something special, it would be good to have two bottles. So in case one goes off, you have the second one. I know it can be also sometimes very expensive, but yeah, in general, that would be a good tip. As I mentioned, storage is very important, and because of improper storage of my wines, I ended up having a faulty wine. So when you store your wine, you want to make sure that you store it properly, so your wine doesn't smell of the wet cardboard, wet dog, or doesn't give you sulfur, which is rotten eggs. Sorry, probably my face looks terrible now, but when I think of it, I'm just like, oh. And what happened to my wine, it turned into vinegar, but sometimes it gets even worse, and it smells like nail polish. For the long-term storage, your wine should be kept ideally in the cellar, and because you want to keep the constant temperature, and because you want to keep the wine in the cooler place and away from the direct sunlight or even the bright artificial light. If your wine is sealed with a cork, then always make sure that you put your wine sidewise, and you know why? So when your bottle has a cork, it is very important to keep your wine in contact with it, so the cork doesn't dry and doesn't let the air come into your wine. So imagine if your cork dries, it shrinks, let the air in, and then your wine would taste old and stale. So this is what you would like to avoid, unless you have a screw cap, and then you can store it upwards, so that's not a problem. So question, why do we have the corks and screw caps? Which ones are better, and what do you think about it? I actually want to know your opinion about it in the comments. When it comes to the cork, it is with long tradition. It can last long, which means that you can age your wine for quite a bit of time. But unfortunately, you can sometimes develop the fault, which is the corked wine. When it comes to the cork as well, you don't have any control over how much of air goes into your bottle, because remember, the cork has pores, and through those pores, the oxygen still goes into your wine. While when you have the screw cap, you can control the rates of your aeration. Cork is coming from the natural source, while the screw caps are recyclable but not compostable. And also I want to say there's also this magic effect when you go to the wine bar or to the restaurant, when the sommelier opens your cork, and it's always this spectacular part to it. So with the screw cap is not as special, right? But definitely don't afraid of the wines with the screw caps. Unfortunately, they are still associated with the cheap wine, but it shouldn't be the case, and I hope it will change in our minds, and we will see, okay, the screw cap doesn't mean the wine is it's cheap or lesser quality wine. And also, what I've noticed, there is this glass cap as well, and I find it so pretty, and you can definitely reuse it as well. As I mentioned, when you get the sulfur, this rotten eggs scent, you could try to aerate your wine, and this is what I got to show you. This is my decanter, and I absolutely love it when I have people around. I normally open my wine an hour before. I leave it in, and the wine normally tastes much better. So definitely you should try that. Also, there are other things, like, for example, this pourer. It does aerate your wine, and it can also, when you don't have time or you don't have decanter, you should definitely try that. And also I got this little funnel, and with the mesh tray, and also if you're in a rush or you just want to have a glass of bottle, you don't want to pour the whole bottle in, just you can try this instead. And then once you open your wine, if you don't want to drink it all, I hope you don't drink the whole bottle at once, then what you should do, you should make sure you keep your wine fresh. So normally the wine can last for 3 to 5 days. That's why you can get the fantastic equipment to keep your wine fresher. And this is why my bottle is sealed. And yeah, you can see I lifted by the cap, and I find it very useful. So this is like a pump and takes away all the air, and because the air is taken out, the wine doesn't, and that's why the wine doesn't go off as quickly. You have also another system, which is the blanket system, and that pushes the gas in to your bottle. The air comes out, and your wine is nicely preserved. And it uses the argon gas, so safe, not toxic. So that's also a very nice invention. Very important to keep your white wine in the fridge. So always put the cap on, put it into the fridge. And if you have your red wine, then I would keep them in the cool place as well with the cap on. So when I got my pump, I read on the package that the wine can be stored for 2 times longer. So let's say you can keep your wine for 3 days after opening, you could probably potentially keep it for a week. So I really do love it, and this is the equipment that I use quite often. So now we can talk about the glassware. So when it comes to the glasses, I would normally make sure I have 3 different types. One for the sparkling wine, second for the white wine or rosé, and then the third one for the red wines. I think the safest is to have flutes for sparkling wine, and I will try to explain you why would you use the certain glasses for certain wines. And hopefully it does stick to your mind, because if you understand something, you definitely remember it for longer. So when it comes to the sparkling wine, you want to have it in flutes, and these are the glasses you can see on the photo, glasses with the narrow bowl, and this is because you would like to keep the bubbles in. Then you get the white or rosé, and then you would like to have a small bowl, and that's because you normally serve your wine chilled, and if you use the smaller cap, you can keep the right temperature for longer. And also you would like to have the aromas close to your nose so you can experience the full effect of the wine. When it comes to the red wine, you would normally have like this wide bowl, and it's to collect all the aromas, and obviously I haven't mentioned, but you would like to have stem on your glass as well to prevent it from warming it up with your fingers. And then with the red wine, also you could even get the oversized glass if your tannins are sharp, and then that would soften them a bit. So that's about the glassware, and then let's talk about the temperature. So your sparkling wine would normally go for 6 to 10 degrees, and the cooler the better. Then you get your white wine, light body or light body rosé. Then you would keep them 7 to 10 degrees. If you had the full body white wine, for example Chardonnay, or light body red wine, let's say Beaujolais, then you would like to keep it chilled, and I'd make it 10 to 13 degrees. And the red wines normally you would serve in the room temperature about 15-18 degrees. I wanted to show you something that really helped me at the very beginning. So this is a ring, metal ring that you put on your bottle when you put your wine into the fridge, and then with the time it shows what is the temperature of your wine. So it also helps you, because like initially when I started I was like, oh, what was the full body white, you know, and this is so cool because it actually says which wine to serve at which temperature. And for example 22 to 24, it's for Bordeaux. So you can see it's very interesting, and yeah, I would say you should try it if you're not sure about the serving conditions. Okay, so let's say we know how to serve our wine. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pour my wine that I have here with you today. This is actually an amazing wine. It is from Italy, made of the grape variety called Montepulciano, and it is a very small winemaker, and the wine I got myself this weekend when I went to the wine bar with my friend, and yeah, I keep it sealed so you can hear. This is when you open. It's so cool. I really like how they invented the pump for wine. So when you serve your wine, you probably sometimes wonder why do they pour wine only to one person first and then wait until you say, okay, that's fine. So when you get your wine, you should always check the appearance. So make sure that you know, there is no haziness, there are no bits floating, unless it is not filtered wine. Number 2, you would check, you would see any aromas, so no cardboard, no vinegar, no sulfur, no rotten eggs, so it's all okay to go. And then after that, I would just taste it. This wine is fantastic. By the way, yeah, I hope I'll never forget to do that. I hope so. Anyway, yeah, so, and then if you have your friends over, I would normally start with a glass of sparkling wine. Then I would go for the light body. So if you serve white wine, then I would serve white wine then first, and then the red wine, the light body red wine, and then the full body red wine. And at the end, I would serve the dessert wine. And there's one more thing that I wanted to say. If you have your sparkling wine, you would not like to take all the air out with your pump, so you would rather use the cap like this. It's actually also very nice, and then you put it into the bottle, you close it like this, so it blocks the air coming to your bottle. So this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you soon. I wish you a great wine in the glass, and I wish you a nice day, nice evening, and see you soon. Bye.